Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator, the Supreme, who is one God. I was just sitting here thinking about my mind is pretty much always on the Spirit, giving reverence to something outside of myself that I can't see, that is my Creator, is your Creator, is this world's Creator. Well, not this world's Creator. Let me retract that. There's a supreme spirit, and it's created a divinity of itself, a divine energy force of itself, a negative energy force of itself, an electrical energy force given power, great power. I watched a movie last night. It was called Alien Code. I would suggest you guys go watch that. A lot of truth bombs in that movie. I think that the machine that they're trying to figure out is a smaller piece of CERN. I think that CERN itself, right here, images of CERN. CERN itself is, see this smaller part right here? This is the smaller part. These people are building a machine that's trying to warp a portal between the veil that separates darkness from light. They're trying to seriously wage a war with the Creator, like the Supreme Spirit. It's like a martial artist. Do you think a master teaches its student everything that it knows? It does not. A master does not teach the student everything that it knows. The reason and purpose before that is because if your student turns on you, you have to have a couple of special weapons in your side pack that you never taught to him, because this plane of existence is two-faced. Everybody on this plane of existence is two-faced. You have been two-faced. Admit it. You are a liar. Admit it. I mean, I'm telling you straight out, folks, lying is one of the most difficult things for people not to do. Why? Because you guys make excuses. You tell stories. You embellish something when you're telling somebody something. You add to it or you take away from. But it's never the straight truth, just as it happened. People are always stumbling over their tongue, and that makes you a two-faced person, okay? I don't walk in two-face anymore. I'm walking one direction, and when I turned around from the world and I started walking one direction, what I saw before me was the Walking Dead, the sea of the Walking Dead. So we're going to jump into Deuteronomy chapter 4 today. It's not an exciting chapter. I know that everything that you read in these Bibles, the book isn't always an exciting chapter, isn't always anything going on inside of the chapter. But I'm reading this book because I'm tired of listening to nutbags say you got to read the whole Bible. You got to read the chapter. You got to read the entire chapter in order to get the context of what's being said. I've been reading this Bible plainly long enough, and I know what context is being said. When you read this Bible, you can clearly see that the gods of this Bible that have written themselves into this Bible are not a God of love that pours nothing but love and light and truth and tranquility and ease and peace and harmony. That is not the gods of this world. These gods of this world here are two-faced gods, okay? They're evil and they are good. They do both good and evil. Remember, it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So good does exist on this plane. It's just that it's being swallowed and consumed. Why? Because Satan, the devil, the beast, mankind has got you worshiping other gods. The devil himself was given power. You understand that a supreme spirit of true love and light, okay, gave something power on this plane of existence. something that fell on this plane of existence. Now the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. Darkness is ignorance. Darkness is wickedness and evil and death. It's the very second parable. Revelations predates Genesis. So obedience and commands. I want the listeners here to start considering the God Yahweh. Okay? I want you to consider the God Yahweh. Is the God Yahweh truly the supreme creator? I say not. Jehovah, not. Jesus, not. These are not the supreme spirit of truth. There's something that are used of the supreme spirit of truth that's been encapsulated in your flesh suit and trapped underneath of the vault of heaven. We are fallen souls. Your immortality could absolutely be the death and birth in this plane of existence for eternity, over and over and over and over. And they're showing you movies like X-Men over and over and over. Now, Israel, hear the decrees and laws I'm about to teach you. Well, I thought that the laws and decrees were given way back in Exodus. Now we're getting more laws and decrees. It seems like more laws and decrees are added and added and added, almost like more laws that are government rights and decrees, huh? Do you know that there's over 600 million laws on the book? Who could keep track of 600 million laws? If that wouldn't cause confusion. No spitting on the sidewalk. No wearing shorts after 10 o'clock at night. Stupid shit like that, telling you these are laws, and stupid laws. Go ahead and Google stupid laws and read a few of them. Folks, these people are demonites, man. They're evil, okay? It's all you got to know about them. Follow them so that you may live and may go in and take possession of the land the Lord God of your ancestors is giving you. Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract it, but keep commands of Lord your God that I give you. Let me give you some information. Everything that you read in this Bible here is from tablets, okay? They're from the scrolls. So people will tell you, oh, the Bible's a perfect manuscript. It's never been tampered with, this and that. Get away from a minister like that. I'm serious. If you got a minister that's telling you that this Bible is a perfect manuscript, they are nutbags. They're the devils. Very easy to spot. It's so easy for me to spot demons today. It's an uncanny gift that is placed upon us when you walk about and you can see them. You know, I hate to say it, but respectfully, my father is a demon. He's got a demon in him. There's nothing nice that comes from this 86-year-old man. He has everything given to him, complete. He has his meals cooked. He's served like a butler. I take care of him. I go grocery shopping for him. I feed him his meals. I help the man out so much. He gets food stamps. He's in a reverse mortgage on the home. He's got it so peacefully and so easy. And I shit you not, man. The guy, when he wakes up in the morning, like if I'm in the kitchen, he can't hear, right? He can't hear at all. Well, he can hear, but he can barely hear. He can barely see, right? So he can't see me in the kitchen or hear me in the kitchen in the morning, but I hear him coming down the hallway, dragging his feet. And he'll poke his head around, and then he'll see me, and he turns around and he runs away from me. He doesn't say good morning. He doesn't say hi. He's not like that at all, man. It's like, it's because I'm walking in the spirit, and whatever is inside of him is terrified of me. And it's the truth. My dad's demons are terrified of the person that I've become, you know, because I'm teaching this truth. So we're not to subtract from it, okay? Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract from it. So I would say anything from after Exodus is all being added to it. This Bible has been changed. You must use common sense. You saw with your own eyes what the Lord did at Baal Peor. The Lord your God destroyed from among you every one who followed Baal of Peor, being Satan, Baal Peor. But that's a man, right? Good and evil. But all of you who held fast to the Lord your God are still alive today. See, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to possess of it. So, someone here, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord. So, you see, somebody else, the writer here, has a Lord too. He's given you the decrees that his Lord God gave as well. Observe them carefully, for this will show your wisdom and understanding to the nations. What are the nations? You should know what the nations are on this channel. The nations are the United Nations. Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord God is near us whenever we pray to him? And what other nations is so great as we have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I am setting before you today? When I think of the Spirit, I'm seriously, and I mean this, when I think of the Spirit today, I am so outside of this plane of existence. I am so outside of politics. I am so outside of the world. You understand that? I don't want anything to do with this place. Now, naturally, we all have to work to survive. If you have a family, you have to take care of your family. We are in a slave world. You must understand that. This world is perpetual war. It never ends. War has been from the beginning. They're shoving it down our throats that war has been war, war, war. Why can't you see that this plane of existence is death? Only be careful and watch yourselves closely, so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen, or let them fade from your heart as long as you live. Well, okay. Tell me one Hebrew man on the face of this earth that has seen any of these things taking place. We haven't seen any of it take place. We have to go by what's written in this Bible. You either got to believe what you're being taught from this Bible, or you got to discard from what you're being taught in this Bible. You have to use discernment yourself. The only way that takes place is between you and the Spirit, the truth. Teach them to your children and to their children after them. Remember the day you stood before the Lord your God at Horeb, when he said to me, assemble the people before me to hear my words, so that they may learn to revere me as long as they live in the land, and may teach them to their children. You came near and stood at the foot of the mountain while it blazed with fire to the very heavens, with black clouds and deep darkness. Then why? Now that's kind of deep right there, with black clouds and deep darkness. Well, let's see here. This is give me 1 second. I want you to know that I love the true Spirit, the creator of all things, the one that gives power, not the gods of this world here that have been given power. You see, these gods and lords of this world have been given power. And now, because they've been given power, they've placed themselves before God. This is why the Supreme Spirit is saying we're not to worship any images, because he gave power to an entity that created a host system. He created images of mankind in the image of God. And you have one God saying that it created itself in an image, and then you have another God that's saying you're not to worship any images. And I'm sorry to tell you, folks, it's us. We're the images. You came near and stood at the base of the mountain, a mountain blazing with fire to the heavens. Okay. Well, I don't think, understand something. In fact, let me retract that. I know that the Supreme Spirit, the truth, the God that pours out love, the eternal light, the existing power that is outside of this plane of existence is not, hear me out, is not a consuming fire, is not a blazing fire that reaches to the heavens. Do you believe that outside of this plane of existence where love and richness and in spirituality, richness and spirituality, and to have the Supreme Spirit pouring his love out upon you is a blazing fire with black clouds? Black fire consumes, folks. Black clouds kill the lungs. You can't breathe that. And with deep darkness. Here's your God. Misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness. So what God is this that you're worshiping? You came near and stood at the base of the mountain blazing with fire to the heavens, with black clouds and deep darkness, death, sorrow, ignorance. 28:22, Hosak, from Chasak, the dark, hence darkness. So now you understand what I've told you from the very beginning of all of this, that when it speaks of darkness in the Bible, it's not talking about nighttime. It's talking about an entity that was given power, a consuming entity. This plane of existence consumes. You've got to understand that. This place of existence is perpetual hate, war, death, over and over. There's only one way that you can escape this simulation, is to turn to the Spirit, because the simulation is a machine. This is why mankind wants to merge the flesh into a machine. This is why they want to put chips inside your head and stuff, because it's a machine that's running this world. It is a quantum machine that runs this world. Satan is a machine. Satan is the body. Your body is a machine. It is a biological machine. You are a machine. Your body is a machine, and it wants to literally put a microchip in your head so you will be completely and forever detached from the Spirit of God from that moment on. Then the Lord spoke to you out of the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but saw no form. There was only a voice. He declared to you his covenant, the 10 Commandments, which he commanded you to follow, and then wrote them on the 2 stone tablets. And the Lord directed me at the time to teach you the decrees and laws you are to follow in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Okay. Also, this morning when I was listening to a channel, Professor Dan, I can't stand the guy. You know, he's all about the spherical globe. He pushes that spherical globe. We all know here on this channel that the Earth is a flat surface, but his channel is called Professor Dan. Listen to the word, man. It's the first time this morning it really smacked me in the face. A profess. When you profess something, then it sends that out into the world. You're professing it as its knowledge, as its factual. I profess that what I teach in this Bible is factual. But I am not a professor. No, I am a servant. I don't profess anything. I just read this Bible. I teach what I know. I teach 666, and that's what I do. This language we speak is a double-speak language. I've been telling people that, and another person that I got to in the comments the other day, he's like, oh, you're a nutbag. So when you start looking at the word gory and the word glory, and then the definition of self is individual. Individual has duality. Gentile has the word jinn in it. Sincere has sin and burn in it. It's a split tongue language. The forked tongue, as the native said, the white man speaks with the forked tongue, because you are a two-faced God. Yes, I'm leaning more believing that when the Supreme Spirit laid that first commandment out, you shall have no other gods before me, and that would imply that there are other gods. Well, Jesus also said you will become as gods, knowing good and evil. Then it's got to be us. We are infinite pieces, broken, shattered pieces of the Supreme Spirit of truth. Idolatry is forbidden. You saw no form of any kind on the day that the Lord spoke to you at Horeb out of the fire. Therefore, watch yourselves very carefully, so that you do not become corrupt and make for yourselves an idol, an image of any shape, whether formed like a man or a woman, an image of any shape, an idol of any shape. Okay, let's take a look. I'm putting it second here, right here, man. That you do not act corruptly and make an idol for yourself of any shape, whether it's the likeness of a male or female. An idol. This is crucial. Why? Because this man that's created on the sixth day of creation here in an image of God is an idol. Folks, the riddle is 666, okay? The parable in Revelations 13:18 is talking about this parable right here, three parables, 25, 26, and 27. They're talking about those three parables. Okay, we're talking about an image here. 25 plus 26 plus 27 comes to 78, and 7 plus 8 is 15, and 1 plus 5 is 6. This is all taking place on the sixth day of creation, and then this man that's created in an image of God is the idol. This God was given power and created himself in an image. This God was given power and created himself in an image of God. And this God here that created himself in an image is an idol. You're not to worship this God here, which was given power, thrown down here to this place. This is the God of darkness. I'm telling you, Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, Bible Hub. This is the God of darkness. Right here, now the earth was formless and void, and darkness, evil, destruction, death was over the surface of the deep, because a war took place in heaven, and this God here was cast down, and it's this God here. This is what you would call Isus, or Zeus, or the god El, for electricity, the elected, the elite, the elevated. In the beginning, this God here is Elohim. Okay? It's the same God as this right here. Elohim, plural of Eloah. These gods are used from something outside of this plane of existence. So eat that, who doesn't know how to read the Bible, anybody who doesn't understand the Bible. Because there's nobody that's breaking this stuff down for you. Okay? So you're not to make anything in the shape, whether formed like a man or a woman, or like any animal on earth, or any birds that fly in the air. Here, I want to show you guys something. So when I was in my 20s, I used to collect these figurines. I had a 10 of them: dolphins, bears, panthers, deers, right? I gave my mother half of my collection as gifts, Christmas gifts through the years. So I don't have all of them like I used to have. But these here are what he's talking about. We're not to have any figurines and stuff like that. Okay? We're not to bow down to this kind of garbage. Okay? We're not to put power into it and say that this is my God. So the Creator is telling us that we're not to make any of things like that flies in the air, or any of the creatures that move along the ground, or any fish in the waters below. So everything that we make, the minute you started carving these kinds of things, what did it become? It became a marketplace. This has always been a marketplace from the very beginning. From the very beginning. I think that money has always existed. If it wasn't money, it was a barter system. You traded services for animals and stuff like that. But then who are you or anyone on the face of the earth to own animals? It's all wrong, folks. We got this thing, it's all backwards. Okay? And when you look up to the sky and see the sun, the moons, and the stars, all the heavenly array, do not be enticed into bowing down to them and worshiping things the Lord your God has apportioned to all the nations under the heaven. So this is big too, because in the very beginning of the creation story, you have God telling you to look to the stars and the sun and the moon in the sky for times. And then you have him here saying you're not to. In heavenly array, do not be enticed into bowing down to them and worshiping things the Lord your God has apportioned to all the nations under the heaven. But as for you, the Lord took you and brought you out of the iron smelting furnace, out of Egypt, to be the people of his inheritance, as you are now. As you now are. So, why are the children still in slavery? If they've been here for 6,000 years, man, when has Israel not been in slavery? I'm telling you straight up, man, from the moment you ate that apple, you have been in slavery. I don't know. That'd be better for me to say. I don't know that there was a time that Israel conquered and you guys owned everything. It's quite possible. And then as the Bible says, it would appear that you started going into the towns of the Samaritans, man. You started engaging in all the pagan worship. And then that's what got your asses in trouble. And that's why you guys have lost your power. You have no power over darkness when you're walking in darkness. Okay, you got scales on your eyes, Israel. You need to wake up yourselves. Okay, the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he solemnly swore that I would not cross the Jordan and enter the good land the Lord your God is giving you as your inheritance. And this is Moses not being allowed into the promised land. I will die in this land. I will not cross the Jordan, but you are about to cross over and take possession of that good land. Be careful not to forget the covenant of the Lord your God that he made with you. Do not make yourselves an idol in the form of anything the Lord your God has forbidden. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. Well, I don't believe that the supreme spirit of truth, the living, jealousy is hate, folks. Okay, so if you have a jealous God, that is not the supreme spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Look at what I'm showing you here. The Lord means self-existing eternal creator. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 24, Bible Hub. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 24, Bible Hub. Is a jealous God. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. So here you have Lord, and the Lord here in this case is Yahweh, and then you have Jehovah. So this right here, right in your face, tells you that duality exists. This is duality. Why would there be two names, two different names? Why would there be many different names? If the supreme spirit of truth, the living one, has one name, then why are there all these other names for God? Because you have one supreme saying that you're not to place any names beside him. You're not to allow the names to be heard across your lips. So this Lord here is the proper name of God of Israel. This Lord here is Yahweh. So I would say that this Lord here, Yahweh, yeah, you're going to hear me say it. This Lord here, Yahweh, Jehovah, is a devil. Okay? It's not the supreme spirit of truth. It's not the living God. Your God, this God again, is Elohim. Eloheka, plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, but used. God used of the supreme. This God is used of the supreme. The Lord is the self-existing or eternal Spirit of truth. Well, if this Lord here, as we see it, as he's saying, is a jealous God, then he's not the Spirit of truth, because jealousy is hateful. It's so right here, jealousy is envy. It's envious, covetousness, desire, resentment, and resentful. Folks, bitterness, discontent, and spite, and grudgeful. That's a God you want to serve? Really? The green-eyed monster? Yeah. I'm telling you that the Bible's been hijacked. I'm pretty sure that this Bible was once a beautifully written manuscript, and now you must study this Bible to show yourself approved about what's being said. Okay. So I don't worship jealous gods. I don't believe that the supreme Spirit of truth, the one that creates everything, is a jealous God. I believe that we are jealous gods. It's us that are jealous gods. We are the consuming fires. The fire, we consume ourselves. We're in a plane of existence that consumes. I'm telling you, go watch that movie, Alien Code. I'm telling you, they're trying to create some kind of warped bubble in this plane of existence and wage war against the Spirit of truth. And he's going to come down like a hammer on you guys. I'm going to laugh my asses off when the nations get destroyed. I am. I'm not going to fret about it at all anymore, man. He's going to do what he's going to do. And you know, hopefully I'm not here when he does it. But hopefully it'll happen right after I leave this place. Yeah. I know that sounds harsh, but hey, it's how I feel. This plane of existence is an evil place, man. All right? And 90% of the people that are on this plane of existence are acting evil. They're doing evil. They're engaging evil. They're part of the evil. They're what makes up the evil. It's you. You're the two-faced son of a bitches that are making this place of existence evil, because you walk around, you hear no evil, you see no evil, and you speak no evil. And this is what Satan wants you to do. He wants you to remain quiet. He wants you not to say anything. Why? Because if you don't call a child out on some bad behavior, their behavior only becomes increasingly worse. And this is why the government's telling you not to put your hands on your children. I say smack the fucking head off his shoulders if he's fucking disobedient. If he doesn't want to listen. Okay, spare the rod, spoil the child. After you've had your children and grandchildren and have lived in the land a long time, if you then become corrupt and make any kind of idol, doing evil in the eyes of the Lord your God and arousing his anger, I call the heavens and the earth and witness against you this day that you will quickly perish from the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. You will not live long there, but will certainly be destroyed. The Lord will scatter you among the people, and only a few of you will survive among the nations to which the Lord will drive you. There you will worship man-made gods of wood and stone, which cannot see or hear or eat or smell. I love this. I love this chapter, man. But if from there you seek the Lord your God, you will find him. If you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul, when you are in distress and all things have happened to you, then in later days you will return to the Lord your God and obey him. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon or destroy you or forget the covenant with your ancestors, which he confirmed to them by oath. Well, I don't know if that oath still stands today, to be honest with you. I mean, if the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt way back then why are you guys back in slavery? Because this is a battle. This goes back and forth. I guess we fall asleep and then we wake up. We fall asleep and then we wake up. Oh shit, man. Oh, this place ain't the real deal. Ask now about the former days, long before your time, from the days God created human beings on the earth. Ask from one end of the heavens to the other. Has anything so great as this ever happened? Or has anything like this ever been heard of? Has any other people heard the voice of God speaking out of fire as you have lived? Well, right now, no one on this plane of existence has heard the voice of God speaking out of fire as they have lived. You're reading it from a book, so you don't know that the Lord spoke to anybody out of fire. And if a God is speaking to people out of fire, I do not want to serve the God of fire. It's not a God that I choose to serve. Fire consumes. I serve the living Spirit, the breath, the life, the wind. That's what I serve, not a fire-consuming God. Has any God ever tried to take for himself one nation out of another nation by testing, by signs and wonders, by war, by a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, or by great and awesome deeds, like all the things the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your very eyes? He didn't do them before my very eyes, and I'm pretty sure he didn't do them before your very eyes, and I'm pretty sure he didn't do them before your ancestors or your the last 4, 5, 600. Well, how many generations? 30 generations. They say a generation is 30 years. So we're talking 100 generations would be 3,000 years. So I'm safe to say 100 generations back, none of us ever saw any fire come out of a black cloud and talk to the people. You are shown these things so that you might know the Lord is God. Beside him there is no other. The Supreme Spirit. Elohim are mankind, which are many gods. So there are other gods beside the God on this plane of existence. They're calling themselves gods. They're magistrates. From heaven he made you hear his voice to discipline you. From heaven. So how does God talk to us? I know exactly how God talks to us. He talks to us when we're getting ready to do something that we shouldn't be doing. It's that little voice in your head that says, I shouldn't be stealing this. It's that voice in your head that when you go in to steal something and you know you shouldn't be stealing it. How do you know that you shouldn't be going in and stealing something? Because when you go in to steal something, what are you doing? You're acting all suspicious. You're looking to the left and you're looking to the right. I think I might use that on an audit sometime when I am engaged with police. I'm like, well, do you suspect me of stealing something? Like, does that mean if somebody's walking around inside of a grocery store now and they're looking to the left and they look to the right, that's suspicious activity? You can arrest them now? Because today, that's where it's going. Okay? There's no other. From heaven, he made you hear his voice and discipline you. On earth, he showed you his great fire, and you heard his voice. You heard his words from out of the fire. Because he loved your ancestors and chose their descendants after you, he brought you out of Egypt by his presence and his great strength, to drive out before you nations greater and stronger than you, and to bring you into their land, to give it to you for your inheritance as it is today. Okay, so I have a question here. The Spirit, or this God, I should say, not the Supreme Spirit, but this God that's bringing you out of the land of Egypt, and he has driven out all the nations, the greater nations that are stronger than you. The question you ask yourself is, these lands that are once possessed by the nations, the sinners, the Gentile, are full of sin. Everything's sinful. So why would the Spirit, the Supreme Spirit, give you land of your enemies? Why wouldn't he just give you your own land that had no sin on it, that had nobody running around, running amok, fornicating, lying and cheating, and politicians and placing people in power? Why? Acknowledge and take to heart this day that the Lord is God in heaven above and on the earth below. There is no other. The Spirit of truth, there is no other like the Spirit of truth. Keep the spirit of truth, decrees, and commands, which I am giving you today. So commands are being given to you through a voice of the Lord. A voice speaking is in flesh. Okay? Like I just said to you, the supreme spirit of truth doesn't talk to us. You don't hear him vocally speak to you. You would shit your pants. You'd admit yourself to a mental farm if you started hearing God speak to you. And God speaks to you as in what I just said, when you're doing something wrong and you know you're not supposed to be doing it and you feel that I ain't supposed to be doing, that's the spirit talking to you, okay? It's not a voice in your head saying, don't you steal that piece of candy. Don't you steal that gum. That's not how it works. It's an internal feeling that you feel, that you know, I'm not supposed to do this. When you're out and you're married and you're in a relationship and you're out fornicating with another woman, committing adultery, you know that you're not supposed to be doing that. That's not God saying, hey, look, man, I'm going to bust your ass, man, if you keep committing adultery. No, it's the eternal voice inside of your head that says you're not supposed to be doing that. Okay? Keep his decrees and commandments, which I am giving you today, so that you may go well with you and your children after you, and that you may live long in the land the Lord God gives you for all time. So if the Lord your God gave you this land for all time, then why is this decree broken? Why are you in slavery? If the land was given to you for all time, you don't possess anything, do you, Israel? You don't own anything. Cities of refuge. Then Moses set aside 3 cities east of the Jordan, to which anyone who had killed a person could flee if they had unintentionally killed a neighbor without malice or forethought. Yeah, and I don't know how you can kill somebody without malice or forethought, man, if you're throwing blows with each other out there in the middle of the fucking desert or the street or on a sidewalk where you can get your head busted, man. Whenever you are throwing blows, yeah, you might have just wanted to kick the guy's ass, but you accidentally punch him and you bust his head on a freaking rock and you kill the guy. Yeah, that could be unintentionally. I get that, but it still was with thought. You went out in the street, you stood there, and you gave thought to throw blows with somebody rather than trying to de-escalate and be cool and talk through it. They could flee into the cities of to save their lives and save their lives. So murderers have what we would call, what do they call our cities here? These cities, sanctuary cities. That's what these cities are. So you have these sanctuary cities for murderers now. Okay, the cities were these: Bezer in the wilderness plateau of the Reubenites, Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Messenites. Induction to the law. This is the law Moses set before the Israelites. These are the stipulations, decrees, and laws Moses gave them when they came out of Egypt, and were in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon and was defeated by Moses and the Israelites as they came out of Egypt. They took possession of his land in the land of Og, king of Bashan, the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan. This land extended from Or on the rim of Anon Gorge to Mount Sherion, that is Hermon, and included all the Arabah east of the Jordan as far as the Dead Sea, below the slopes of Pisgah. Okay, folks, that's going to close out number 4 of Deuteronomy. Much love to all of you that serve the Spirit of Truth, the living God. Okay, the supreme eternal Spirit of Truth, the kind, loving one that pours out love. That love is poured out to his obedient angels that serve him. Okay, you are an angel, you're a fallen angel. Okay, and as long as you're serving the world, then you're a demon. Okay, this is a battle. Come back over to the righteous side, man. Walk right. Stop fornicating, America. Come on, women, get off of the frickin' internet and stop shaking your ass and your titties. Get away from your slave masters. Tell everybody to go F off, man. Okay, find yourself, find your soul, save your soul. Walk righteous. You walk righteous, the Spirit of God is going to bring you a good man. He's going to bring you a good woman. You walk disobedient, and all you're going to get is headaches. I can guarantee you that. Much love. This is White Raptor News Ministries.